Hello everyone. Tonight I want to show you guys how to make a mapo tofu. It's pretty simple if you have all the packaging and all the ingredient. Quickly show you guys what kind of packaging you need. So the main ingredient on the packaging you guys need is obviously the sauce. They call it spicy bean sauce, but this is actually for mapo tofu, which is the picture you're seeing right here. And of course you also need the tofu. So I bought the one that say multi-use tofu, but if you don't see this in the market, you could actually buy medium tofu. Do not buy the firm one, because firm one it might be too hard. So you want it to be medium, and don't buy it too soft because it might break apart. Traditionally, mapo tofu is served with the beef. With the pork, because it's not like I don't eat pork, but I just don't like to eat too much pork, and personally I think it too fatty. So I use the chicken instead. And if you guys seen my previous few video, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, you know that I actually make a lot of chicken. I actually grill these and throw these in the freezer. So I still have a lot of them left. That's why I took these out from the freezer. It still has these icy on it. So what I did was I basically grind it up to pieces, because traditionally when you use the pork, it's a grounded pork. But obviously I'll be using the chicken because I want to use it up. So I basically chop it or grind it into a very tiny fine pieces. So yeah, next thing you need is ginger. And as you can see right here, ginger, I basically chop it into a very small pieces. I don't really have garlic, but it is recommended to have garlic and ginger. Obviously traditionally you use the pork, but I use the chicken instead. And you definitely need the tofu. And to make things easier, you could buy the packaging from the store. Any Chinese market, I believe Vietnamese market might also have it, and Japanese market. So anything Asian related. But if you don't have this, you could do it yourself. Just ginger, garlic, some sugar, and soy sauce, sesame oil. But quickly jump to the next thing that you need. Obviously flour. I'm using the all-purpose flour. This you have to use it in the end to make it shine a bit. So of course you have to add a bit of water into it to mix it. And next thing, I'm not sure what this thing is called, but this is basically one of these. So I have these in my house where I grow these. It's kind of like an onion, one of these Asian things. So I use a scissors and cut it into a very fine pieces. And of course you need some sesame oil, and also I'll be using some regular oil as well. These are the regular, I'm not sure, probably olive oil or something like that. Traditionally you definitely need the pure oil. You don't really need the regular oil, but I'll be using it anyway because I didn't want the sesame oil to taste too strong, overpowered. But first thing, obviously you need some water. Let me get this water. And you want to put a little bit of water in the flour. The reason why is that's toward the end. So anyway, I'll quickly show you guys how I'm cut this right now. Okay, so anyway, after I remove the tofu from the packaging, first of all, I just want to, like I mentioned before, you don't want to buy something that is really firm. So it felt kind of like a jello, soft jello, not too soft that it break apart. Just the reason why this part broke apart because when I removed the packaging, it kind of went broke apart. So quickly explain how you're going to cut this. You want to chop it into a cube shape. So what I did was I grabbed the knife and went through it like sideways. So always you want to go through the sideways first. So as you see, there's a line right here. That's because I cut in half from like a horizontally. And then let me quickly show you guys the other way. So as you see, I cut it horizontally. After that I kind of went down. I don't know, I guess you could call it vertically cut it. So I think my shadow is kind of blocking it. So I don't know if you could see. I actually cut into a cube, small cube shape. And yeah, that's basically what you do. One thing that I have to say is that the cutting part is pretty easy. It's pretty easy to cut it. The tough part is removing the tofu from the package. It's stuck in pretty tight, so I usually grab a knife and just cut the cover off. But I just want to highly mention that be careful when you cut this part. Don't cut your hand or anything like that, because it is kind of not easy to open the package. And the scissor doesn't really work that well, because if you use the scissors, you actually punch a hole into the tofu itself. So usually I try to use the knife and then cut the edge tiny little bit to get the opening, just small opening, and then I kind of slide the knife up, leaning towards upward, and then go along the edge, cutting it. And then after this thing is open all the way, you kind of just basically flip it down and then push the bottom to get everything out. But anyway, that's about it. So now I guess we basically got everything. So quickly, let's get started. Obviously you need one of these pan, sesame seed and regular oil, and turn the fire to max. Oh yeah, there was actually one thing that I forgot to mention, is that normally after you want the tofu to be dry, so a lot of people tends to put like a paper towel on top of it and on the bottom and leave it there for, I don't know, 5-10 minutes for it to suck up all the water, so that this thing will be dry up a little bit more, so that it doesn't break easily when you pour it into the pan. But anyway, let's get back to it. So what the first thing normally people does is obviously turn the fire up, and then you will want to put some sesame oil in it as you put it in. So but I didn't want everything to be all sesame oil, so I'll be putting some regular oil as well, because I didn't want the taste to be too strong. Just a little bit. There's not exactly a fixed amount. You just kind of go by, I guess, your feeling. I don't know what you call it. So next thing, what most people started to cooking with the sesame oil is the pork, ground pork. But obviously I'm not using ground pork. I use the chicken, and this thing already been cooked ready. But the thing is that, you know, it been freezer for, I don't know, maybe almost a week now. So I don't want this thing to go bad, or there might be, I don't know, mold or something. I doubt there's anything go bad in the freezer, but just to make sure, so I'm going to cook this again, even though it's already cooked, but I'm still going to cook it. So mainly now the fire is on, what you want to do is throw the ginger in, and then the ground beef. Okay, so if you guys could see, the ginger is in right now, is obviously sizzling. You usually wanted to use garlic and ginger in it, but obviously I don't have garlic, so I only have ginger. And then after that, if you have ground pork, you could throw in, but I'm using the chicken. So you throw the chicken in and basically cook it. I feel like I'm cooking it a lot right now, but oh well. This is actually for my lunch tomorrow. I didn't have time to make something else, any other stuff. So I thought this might be a healthy dish. And at the same time, yeah, so I'm basically kind of modifying it a little bit. Originally you're supposed to use ground pork, but I'm using the chicken. And then you usually don't use so much this thing, I don't know, like a green onion or something, or some kind, but I use it a lot because that's basically like the only vegetable that I have inside the tofu. If you want to add anything else, you know, feel free to add it. I don't think it really matters. I mean, cooking is all about mixing up ingredients and different stuff. So I'm not going to put any salt on it, because the chicken itself, when I grill these, I already put some season on it already, so I'm not going to put any salt. At the same time, the seasoning, this thing, it has a little bit of season in it already. But anyway, while this thing is heating up and cooked a little bit, I want to quickly talk about this. This package for the mapo tofu, it actually have all the ingredient in it. it was on the instruction itself in the back. It's asking like 1 tablespoon, excuse me, 4 tablespoons equal to 300 grams, 300 grams of tofu. But this whole packaging have about 454 in it, so it's actually more. So I'll probably throw like 5 scoops in it. Anyway, so next step, you want to add water. Hold on, let me. It's kind of hard to work with this with one hand. Okay, guys. So as you see, I kind of pour water in it. You don't want to cook it too long. Well, for me, I don't want to cook it too long because my chicken basically already cooked. I mostly just wanted this thing to melt the ice and kind of basically, how should I say, just kind of like warm the chicken up a little bit so that it might kill the whatever, if it have anything in it. But anyway, I think it should be good. The reason why you see all these colors is because the chicken already been seasoned. So anyway, normally you have ground pork if you go by the original traditional ingredient. So ground pork. Basically, you want to put the oil in when the ground pork is completely cooked, where basically the color is not red anymore. And then after that, you put some water in. The water, I don't exactly have an exact amount, but you kind of just want to estimate it's about the same height of the chicken or the pan. But of course, you don't want too much water because you don't want the mapo tofu to be really watery. Oh yeah, the way how you eat the mapo tofu is basically mix it with rice. Go on top of the rice. But anyway. So I'm going to let it boil for maybe a few seconds, or maybe, I don't know, 30 seconds to, make sure that everything's cooked thoroughly so that there won't be any bacteria or anything like that. Okay, while this thing is cooking, I want to quickly show you guys. I open it. So I'm going to put 5 scoops in this thing right now. I'm going to turn down the fire. Maybe, I don't know, less than halfway, more than half actually. This is the half, so maybe less than half. Let's see, simmer while I grab a regular spoon, and then I'm gonna put it in. Okay, guys, so I put 5 scoops whatever the sauce in already. As you see, it's pretty red. The fire is still on light heat right now. So I'm just gonna let it simmer for a little bit longer, and then after that, you basically you throw tofu in. When you throw the tofu in, make sure that you throw it lightly. You don't just want to drop it in really fast because you might break the tofu apart. So, but anyway, I can't really show you guys the process because I'm holding the camera right now. But anyway, I'm going to show you what after I'm kind of put it in. All right. You know what, I changed my plan. I will show you guys. So I kind of grabbed a knife, picked it up. As you can see, I cut it, everything. And then I'm going to slowly drop it. Grab another one, picked it up. Oop, I hope it doesn't break. Oh man. It's kind of hard. I'm looking at the screen and at the knife at the same time. Alright, slowly drop it in. Last. Okay, maybe I'm gonna help a little bit by falling down. Oops, coming off a little bit. Oh, it's okay. Okay. So like I mentioned, this is going to be my lunch for tomorrow, which, put it up, there we go. Alright, so what you do is that you will slowly, gently move these apart. Try to get all the sauce on top of the tofu. Oh, as you can see, something is breaking apart already. So what I'm going to do is just put in the season on top. After you cook it, the tofu itself will get a little bit hardened, but it won't get too much hardened. So that's why a lot of people put the towel on top of it to absorb all the water. But because I don't have a lot of time, so I'm just cooking it this way. But yeah, it's not breaking up too much, so that's fine. Another way I could do is I'll just shake it a bit. And what? Let me turn the fire on to max again because I feel like it's not cooking. So I'm going to hold it and shake it a little bit. Shake the not the camera obviously. To shake the thing so that the tofu itself will be setting in, settle down onto the bottom of the pan more easily, so that I don't have to use my spoon. You know, kind of move it a little bit so it will fall down. Okay, it's looking pretty good. So I want it to cook a little bit longer so that chicken will be softened up, because it is grilled chicken and chicken's kind of hard. So I want it to another season. And quickly mention that you put this at the end for seasoning, basically garnish on top. And for the flour, as you see, I mixed it. I put some water in, shake it a little bit. Ooh, it's kind of thick right now. But anyway, and what it does is that when this thing is about to be finished, you basically want to pour this on top, and this flour itself gives the tofu the shiny, glossy look to it. And at the same time, mapo tofu is supposed to be a little bit sticky. So as you can see, it's pretty watery right now. So this thing will add the stickiness to it. It'll be like a kind of like a curry rice. I mean curry itself, a little bit sticky to it. So yeah. Anyway, I'm going to pause this right now and I'm going to show you when I pour this in and then what it looks like. I'm going to let it simmer a little bit for a little bit longer. Okay, so it's been cooking for maybe, I don't know, been a minute, well less than a minute, probably like 30 seconds since I paused the video. So I turned the fire to halfway, and to be honest, it is a bit too much water right now, but I don't really care because I'm cooking for myself. I mean, this is not a restaurant or anything. I'm cooking for other people, for myself. So I know that is a lot right now, but anyway, I'm going to pour this in right now. So it's going to be, let's go around it, try to cover all the area, the flour itself, and that's about it. So it should get sticky pretty soon. Actually, I'm not sure, but it should be though. This is actually my first time cooking it. So let's see. Oh yeah, it is definitely getting sticky. I can feel it. So I'm going, you know what, I'm going to pause the video and shake it with the bowl itself. Shake the pot really quick. Okay guys, so it's only been like a 10-second. The flour itself, I'm going to quickly tell you guys, the flour itself make a huge difference. I'm going to turn the fire off right now. Actually, I'm turning the fire. So it's only been like 10 seconds since I poured the flour in, and this thing is like became a sticky glue. It actually absorbed all the water that I have, and I'm basically trying to move as fast as possible before this thing will get dries up or something like that. So anyway, I turned the fire off already. So I'm going to quickly pour these thing in. Like I say, I'm cooking it for myself. That's why I'm throwing so much in, because this is the only green vegetable that I'll be having. So yeah, and pause it. Okay, so anyway, I got everything in. So like I say, this is cooking for myself, so I don't really care that I throw so much in. But I did notice one thing is, oops, I just broke that apart, the tofu. I did notice that is whatchamacallit, I actually have way too much chicken, so, and too little tofu. So the ratio is not correct. It should be more tofu and less chicken, or less beef if you're using it. So yeah, but I don't really care because I'm eating it myself. So yeah, but anyway, this is basically done. Yeah, that's about it guys. First time cooking mapo tofu, and that's it. I'm just gonna let it sit and cool down, and after that I'm gonna throw it into a container. And this is basically for my lunch for tomorrow. I won't be having any rice because yeah, I just don't want any rice at this moment. Just mainly the dish, the tofu with the chicken, not beef, not pork I mean. But if you want to use beef, ground beef, that's fine too. definitely a lot more healthier than pork, but I'm using the chicken. Yeah, that's quick. That's basically quickly how you guys do it. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Okay, everyone, this is my finishing product. As you can see, is in my lunch container right now. So yeah, like I mentioned, I found like I've had way too much chicken than the tofu. Usually the ratio should be the other way around. You should have more tofu and less chicken. Some of the vegetable, the green stuff, it's actually on the bottom when I pour the tofu, the whole thing out from my pan. At first I thought it was a lot, but actually it's okay. I mean, it fit in this container. I thought it was going to be like more than the size of this container. So yeah, it's not completely full right now, as you can see. I have my co-worker mentioned before that I eat a lot because I usually bring like a large container like this size. I don't know, I guess kind of agree with them that I do eat a lot. But yeah, that's basically how you do it. Feel free to try out different type of meat. Like you could use beef or pork or lamb or I don't know, chicken, like what I did. But overall, yeah, you definitely need that flour though. It make that sticky to it. What else I want to mention? Seasoning, like the one that I pour in, like the 5 scoop, the seasoning. You could get those from any Asian store, and they are called mapo tofu seasoning. You could make your own too. I seen video on YouTube where someone make it directly from scratch. Nothing. I think it was like mostly just ginger, garlic, brown sugar, obviously sesame oil, soy sauce, and flour. That's about it, I think. But yeah, it's pretty simple, and maybe some garlic. I mean, red pepper. I think so. It might have some red pepper, but I could smell it right now. It smells really good. So definitely try it if you guys have the time to do it at home. I haven't get a chance to try it because it's kind of hot right now, but it smells good right now. I'll definitely try it tomorrow. I'm gonna leave it sit for maybe a few hours until it cool down, and then cover it and then put it in the fridge. Oh yeah, one thing is that never put any hot stuff in the fridge. It's not good. I don't know. It's probably definitely not good for the fridge with all these steam coming out, but definitely it's not good for the food right away from hot to cold. It's better to let it slowly cool down, and at the same time you don't want to crack the grass because you know, this thing is hot, and then you put it in the fridge right away. It cool down, it might crack the glass. I mean. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you have any comments, just leave it below. Hope you guys enjoy my video on making this dish. Alright, thanks everyone, and have a good night. Bye.